Guys, we have another retirement ETF showdown. Who is better for your retirement account for that yield, the growth, the total return, the taxes? And we'll give you the retirement verdict. All right, guys, I'm Doug, the retirement guy, giving all your income investment series and strategies for our retirement people. We're doing it right now. EGGY, the NestYield EGGY versus Goldman Sachs GPIQ. These are two very, very strong funds. We're going to break them down and show you what works today. Important disclaimer, the content is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It's not financial advice, and the presenter is not a financial advisor. Investing involves risk. Income is never guaranteed. Past performance does not guarantee future results in any way. If you need help, always contact a financial licensed financial professional, as we are not. So I want to just give a fair shout out there to our Retirement Made Easy Living on Dividends coffee mug. This is really what supports the channel. $8.99 plus shipping. Real simple, easy to get. Use the QR code on the side. Go to the description down below. You can see the link right there. But basically, guys, we kind of put this together. I cannot believe how much support you guys have given us. We're almost done with our second full run of coffee mugs, ready to place our third order. Something simple, something unique, something different we thought we would try, and you guys seem to be loving it. So just want to put it out there, our quick ad on our coffee mug for only $8.99. We really appreciate the support, and if you don't be afraid, order one up. Makes for a great late Father's Day gift or anytime around anyone into retirement. So the fun overview, EGGY, EGGY versus GPIQ. NestYield EGGY is a dynamic income ETF. It's built for very high monthly income with growth potential. It's a selective cover call strategy on a concentrated portfolio, and it's an active, aggressive, and highly conviction holdings. Now, aggressive, and it's a higher yield package. Now, the Goldman Sachs, we know, is on the Nasdaq 100. This is one of our top core ETFs that we use in our portfolios. Goldman Sachs GPIQ is exposure to the Nasdaq 100, which is going to be a big technology and growth companies. It uses a cover call option strategy to generate that monthly income, and it's more diversified and established structure from the Goldman Sachs family. So this is going to give you diversification, establishment, and a lower cost. But if we want higher yields, and remember, we don't chase yields, but if we want higher yields, then EGGY has to be something we have to look towards. Let's look at the yields as we know it. Now, this is a huge number, and we got to talk some big things here. The EGGY yield right now, 33.11%, versus the Goldman Sachs 9.8%. Now that is huge difference between two particular funds. So the yield winner right off the bat is EGGY. It wins on the income side. But I always have to put that warning of that high yield. What is our trade-offs? Is there higher volatility? Is it a concentrated risk? Is it a suitable risk? And what's happening to our NAV movement sensitivity? Is this a yield trap or not a yield trap? These are the questions you have to do when you look at one number, and one number only is yield. You know, I think my 6-year-old grandson could tell you the same thing. 33 is definitely bigger than 9, so we have a winner across the board. But we got to see if that 33 actually is a true hardcore number. Let's take a look at growth, and this is exactly what I expected to see. If we go for one total year, total growth is negative 0.35%. Not as bad as what I was expecting to see, but the GPIQ's NAV and growth is 16.37. Now, if we take a look at year to date running today, 8.67 versus 8.10. So EGGY is actually doing better this year than they did over the past 12 months. So is the aggressive momentum? Yes. EGGY is concentrated in those high holdings. It's fueled that superior upside capture, but it's not keeping it because there's no growth at all in the fund. You've actually lost a little bit. So you're still going to be about 32% yield when you take this out. We'll have to look at the total returns to be really safe. This is where that established core GPIQ provides that steady, diversified Nasdaq 100 growth with that lower individual stock risk. So that EGGY's aggressive strategy delivers significantly higher growth and NAV of yield, but that growth is struggling here. So outperforming GPIQ by double digits, both in that year-to-date and one-year windows, but they're not holding it in the growth package. So this is why we look at yield, we look at growth, and we always have to look at total return numbers. EGGY's total return over the past 1 year, 34.66%. Okay. So when we do GPIQ, the total return is 29.30. So EGGY actually is winning the total return race. So I'm pleased with this. And then when we look at year to date, EGGY is actually pulling away at 28.62 versus 14.94. So that tells me we're getting more yield, almost 20% yield, because both of them are about 8% year to date so far. We're getting about 20% yield so far year to date, almost basically 6 months into it, half a year. And honestly, we're getting about a 7% out of GPIQ. When we look at that total 1 year return, that 34.66%, because the drop off is currently with that growth side of it, they've had, unfortunately, that's the difference of these numbers, and that's why we always look at total return. Total return actually is doing better than what GPIQ is, but you can see the difference is coming from income versus a balanced approach of income and growth. So EGGY is actually, I'm pleased with what I'm seeing. Even with those big numbers of yield, the total return's telling me you're okay, you're doing fine. Let's see how this thing really goes. The retirement reality check, performance alone does not build a lasting paycheck. While EGGY leads in raw numbers, retirement income requires repeatable, reliable, and risk controlled. So higher returns often come with higher volatility and can jeopardize long-term withdrawals. And that last line is what I want to put out to you. The higher volatility. Though the numbers give you big yield, you're going to see the numbers go up and the numbers come way down and up and down, up and down. Do you want to ride the roller coaster in retirement, or do you want to just sit in your hammock and swing back and forth? That's what GPIQ gives you, and that's what EGGY is going to give you. The roller coaster of EGGY, the hammock of GPIQ. Expense ratios, another big factor. Look at this. EGGY has a 0.95. It is an actively managed portfolio. It seeks that covered call strategy. But Goldman Sachs is down to 0.29%. So if you're holding this for long periods of time in a retirement fund, guess what? You're going to make more money with Goldman Sachs just because of the holding and the carrying cost is so big. So GPIQ is much cheaper. I even hate to use the word cheap, but they have really got their costs in line. Every dollar of fees is not a dollar compounding in your account. For long-term retirement holding, lower cost creates a massive tailwind that helps just push it forward. Now, tax holdings. If you're going to get a ton of income coming in, there's some big numbers here. And both of these guys are going to use the return of capital. Now, when I made this video here, the recent distribution showed a 0% total return of capital from EGGY. Now, that is not something to panic about, because what happens is EGGY is very good at forecasting down the road what they need to be. Okay? And it's when you get to your distribution, your 1099 distribution form, your 19A form, that's when you're really going to see your total capital returns and give you what's happening to it. But distributions are taxed as ordinary income or as capital gains, and that ROC will be readjusted to fit what fits their portfolio, not what fits your wallet. Goldman Sachs, though, has been running right along 97.9% return of capital. Now remember, ROC can defer taxes by lowering your cost basis, so you're kicking your tax can down the road. So GPIQ, I give them more benefit that they are the stronger piece from the taxable accounts. If you're putting these in the IRA or Roth, the tax edge is not really going to matter that much. It's not going to be that big of a difference. But if you're putting this in a brokerage fund, I'm just telling you, you gotta really watch your end of the year, what's going on, or watch how EGGY changes it. So I'm going to put it to GPIQ because they're handling it the proper way, while EGGY is trying to really, I'll be honest with you, I think they're trying to show you that they are not playing games with giving you a fictitious yield. What they're trying to do is show you we are doing this right, we're doing what's going on, and at the end of the year, they'll adjust their numbers. So understanding your trade-offs, okay? The NAV stability. A 33% distribution rate is aggressive and can pressure net asset value if the total return lags in their payoffs. Right now, we're not seeing that. Okay? We're not seeing that at all. But you have to stay focused on it. This is why I call that roller coaster deal. You have to be paying attention to what's going on. You can't set it and forget it and walk away. You have to pay attention. Concentrated risk, the active, the high portfolio means individual stocks that move that are outsized impacts the fund. Distribution stability, the monthly payouts are not guaranteed and may fluctuate based on option premiums and market conditions. If we start going to a bear market, you may not see EGGY making as much income as possible. Plus, it's a newer fund and it's aggressive fund. So that short-term track record requires closer monitoring. It's less suited for that I call the stable core of a retirement holding. While GPIQ really has that, it's a heavy tech concentration. That's the Nasdaq 100. It does cap your upside. That's why you don't see as big as a growth or yield, because, and also I did not cover theirs as well, but they have that 25 to 75% of their portfolio is capped or uncapped. So it helps both sides, but it's a balanced approach, and it's very market sensitivity. Stability is very moderate though. The risk side of it. So I look at it this way. EGGY is going to give you more income, but you're going to get a lot more risk. And GPIQ is more balanced and more structured. So here's how I use these two, because I'm not going to say either fund's bad. GPIQ is a core holding. I've told you that before. I don't lie with it. The core holding in my portfolio is GPIQ. Okay, it's there. I love it because it has the Nasdaq 100 exposure. It's diversified. It has the lowest cost structure across the board, 0.29. The tax efficiency, it's going to have that high ROC. If I do use this in the brokerage fund, because I do have some money in that brokerage, it's good for the tax side of things, and it's a very, very stable. So I kind of put it as my primary paycheck roll. Now, EGGY, I really put this as a satellite booster. Okay, I love that the maximum yield at 33%. I hate to say it, but yeah, that number's huge, and I don't chase yield, but that number was proven to me so far to be an accurate number. So the momentum, the higher recent NAV growth, the NAV itself has grown, and that selective strategy, that concentrating on those higher holdings. Now, the active monitoring is a higher risk and requires small allocations. So I personally put this as a yield enhancer. I don't put a ton of money into this. I'm going to try to collect as much of the 33% as I can bear. Almost like going to the casino and walking in with how much money you can have. Excuse me. But I don't put all my eggs in that basket. I try to add it to help enhance a portfolio. Maybe 5%, no more than 10% max of EGGY into the particular fund. So GPIO is a foundation and EGGY is my booster, and not the other way around. Just to make sure you learn what we're talking about. So my final scorecard for yield, guys, we proved it. EGGY's right there, 33% to 9.8%. The total growth and total return numbers, EGGY's going to win that side of it because they definitely had the higher total return numbers. Expense ratio, that's going to GPIQ. If you're holding this for a long time, which we do in retirement, you're going to want that 0.29. That's why I tell you both of these will work together. I'm going to put the tax deferring, the tax side over to Goldman Sachs, so the GPIQ wins that one. And I really believe in core holdings. GPIQ is your core, and EGGY is not. Now, for an aggressive income booster, yeah, EGGY's right there. So, we got 3 wins apiece. It wasn't designed this way. It was really put together as, hey, guys, this is what it works out to. But I still put EGGY as my income booster and GPIQ as my core in my income bucket. So, repeating one more time, the core holding Goldman Sachs GPIQ is my core. That means that's the first dollar I'm putting into it. When I need some boost, we're going to have EGGY on the side. As I said, no more than 5 to 10% of my portfolio is in EGGY, while a core of my income bucket is in the Goldman Sachs side of it, along with some other ones as well, of course, with the S&P 500 and the Russell and accordingly. But this is kind of the bucket where you add to that mix. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. That really helps the channel. I love to hear what my viewers are really thinking. Is this how do you use it? How would you use it? I use it this way, the core versus the booster. What do you do? Do you own EGGY? Have you been happy with it? Let me know in the comments below. If you like the video that we're doing, definitely hit that like button. Also, don't forget, I do this because it helps the channel, and that is our Retirement Made Easy Living on Dividends coffee mug. 12-ounce coffee mug has gone over very well. I've had some people ask for a bigger mug. We're looking into that one, but we do this simply to help support the channel for only $8.99 plus some shipping. Hit the QR code, hit the link down in the description, get your mug as quickly as you can.